Alright, hello everybody, Skyrain here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. This is on Battlegrounds. This is a previously recorded match. I'm going to do some commentary over it. As most times with Battlegrounds, I tend to... I don't know. Unless I would be doing a live stream, if anybody wants to see that, let me know. I would prefer it to be on Twitch, since I am still an affiliate over there, and I would like to brush the dust off on that, mind you, and start streaming over there again. But anyway, but yeah, most times I honestly prefer, as far as these go, to kind of play them a little bit more casually and chill, and I turn off, you know, microphone and all that kind of thing while I'm doing these things. So, but either way, I'm more than willing to live stream if you guys want to see that. But anyway, here we go. I did a couple tweaks to the build that I usually run with. This one can still be altered as well on the fly with the essence. There's a couple essences I can swap back and forth between fire and ice. I'm not using the, you know, the meta Scorch build, of course. Which there's various versions of that, mind you. So it's not just everybody's thinking it's just ice. No, there are actual pure shock builds out there as well with it. Here I see we have a Necropester back in the back, so I'm trying to help out everybody keep going, you know, towards the objective by cleaning up the back here, because a lot of times people hang around too long chasing one person down. However, there are those that become an absolute pest, of course, at spawn, and they do need to be removed. I'll go over the build and everything after the match. Just kind of, you know, shooting the breeze a little bit here with some commentary while this match is going on. I'm actually feeling pretty good about this one now, the changes that I have made. And I'll get into that again, like I said, at the end. Now, as it stands, since I've switched to this build, I haven't... Well, no, I had a couple matches against some medium reso, medium to high. And it still seemed to work out pretty well.
I need healing.
Multiple pins there. As you can see, I had cheat death running. So if I didn't have that running, that wouldn't have happened. However, went up against, you know, various other classes, like Necros especially, with their Wraith form, red circle, rinse, repeats constantly, and then of course the Corpse Lances also as well. Yeah. All about repositioning, trying to avoid being in their circle. Now, the thing I still have a development gripe about, as far as that red circle goes in Necros, the animation in game never matches the damage that well. You'll see the circle and be like, oh, I'm standing outside of it. No, you're not. And you get hit with it anyway. With the, you know, the plague of dots. Which, that's honestly my only gripe. You know, obviously it's in this the toolkit for Necros to use. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the developer side of things, of it not matching the animation, the damage not matching up. That's my gripe. I mean, obviously it's for them to use, and it's in their toolkit, so that's not an issue. It's the fact that it just doesn't sync up to the damage. And there's other things out there, not just with Necros, obviously. I think that applies to a lot of classes, and again, that's just development flaw. Which, let's face it, with Blizzard and NetEase at this point, there's a lot of things that they're very flawed in doing correctly. assessing the lanes, seeing where all the dots are in the mini-map. You always have to be reading the mini-map. You always have to be. That's what makes you get, that's what gives you eyes in the back of your head pretty much. Like I saw that guy coming across the bridge and I had to throw a field down just to kind of slow them or do anything possible. Now I see all the red dots are on the other side except for one, so here we go. Necro, and there we go. Now I'll explain what happened there with the build at the end. It's very odd timing though, because usually that's supposed to happen after 6, but not, and that happened after 7. So I think that is bugged or not working as correctly as it's supposed to. That's the first time I think I actually seen it work, to be honest. So that one might be bugged as a hit or miss too, and I'll discuss that here, like I said, at the end. Keeping the field, staying out of that red circle as far as can be. And then the problem is you get crossed between your player, red circle, necros, and the enemy. There's no distinction between the two. I think the player ones should be either green or some variant other color of that so they don't get confused. That would be nice, but here we are. Alright, now we're getting down closer to the wire. Yeah, minute 40 here. Alright. Trying to avoid this as much as possible. Oh, this is where I just eat it. I knew I had it ready. I ate it on purpose to push the idol as much as possible. Throwing my fields down. I had the cheat death proc, and my bandage came off in time to where I could heal up out of that mess. And at this point, it's GG. And there we go. Hang on for the end screen. I didn't do the usual, which I should, actually. It just takes a lot more time anymore, and sometimes I just don't feel like doing it. I usually would go through and check everybody's rezos and whatnot and the like, but I'm familiar with a lot of these names. They're about a lot of 3Ks or so rezo across the board, I think, with everybody, so that's, except for me, of course. So that kind of gives a general idea of where to expect. Alright, so there we go. And actually I can show this in game now. This is the most recent match that I've done. Let's go ahead and close that out. Now we'll go into the game here itself. We'll go over the build and also show currently pushing hard this season at the start early. I know a lot of people say, oh, that's not usually a good thing to do. Hey, it's whatever. Because they say, oh, you climb into whale matches pretty fast and so on and so forth. I was like, look, I'm a complete 100% free to play. I'm always in a challenge. It's always an uphill climb for me, so it makes no difference. I enjoy the challenge. I don't enjoy the broken matchmaking, but then again, none of us do, so that's neither here nor there, kind of. I've come to terms with the fact that the broken matchmaking is a byproduct of the algorithm system, to where you're going to get that baseline 50-50 win rate kind of deal, regardless of the fact, and you'll be put into those kind of matches on purpose to keep your win rate that way because of the way the game algorithm is set up. As much as they try to say, oh, well, we try to balance this, that, and the other thing, it's like every time they do, they make it worse. Or if they do, have done so at all. A lot of that could just be a flat out lie. And yeah, that's, again, it's whatever. It's whatever. Just try to enjoy your time while you're in there, and that's the long and short of it, really. So anyway, now we'll get on to the build, what I did change. So let's go ahead here. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and do. We'll show the whole shebang this time. A lot of people always ask, "Well, what is this?" And I've done. I think I've done. Did I do my PvP video yet? I'm not sure. I might not have, or I think I did. I can't keep track. I've done a bunch, and they keep having to change, or I have to update them every so often. And just request that down below if you want like a straight up one. For multiple builds, I don't really have that many. I'm just going to show the one I used in this video. All right, so the Visage helmet For the slow time, dot increase. Starcaller's Drapery, which is, this is just straight meteor shower. And, yeah, Awakened Meteor Shower. This one, the Staggerville Omen. Get the idea with this one. Meteor damage increased. Starcaller's Breachers. Let's see. Bile. Meteor Shower now continually damages area. Yeah, but no longer stunned. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. This one just makes the radius bigger, which, honestly, with how Tempest was introduced in the game and you've seen the size of the Necro rings, the Satyr rings and such, this right here, I think, needs a rework for Wizards. The radius increase says 29%, and you think, oh, that's kind of substantial. Not really. And you're sacrificing a slot out of all of this just to get that increase in meteor radius. And that's a lot. That's, you know, you could be wearing something else there, because with Tempest, when you get the, you know, you've seen their circles with some of their abilities. I forget which one it's called. I've used it before when I changed to Tempest for a little bit to try out the class. They get that inherently. It's already there. They get a massive ring on that one ability, which some people are starting to use in PvP, which is interesting. But yeah, it's a massive ring, and they don't need to do anything for that radius. Boost it. It's already there with that skill, and it's like, that's ridiculous. So my gripe is on that one. Rework for Wizard as far as this goes. Our radius needs to be increased on this one. Just saying, because we're sacrificing a complete legendary slot essence entirely just for this. So give that a bump, devs. Anyway. Alright. Oh, sorry, I got off on a tangent there. Alright, back to the weapons. Thistlebloom, main hand. This one gives 2 charges now, which is very nice since they made that change. And it's stronger. It's a constant pull. It's not like Bluster Crux. Bluster Crux does a 1 jerk pull, and then that's it. And then that's all you get, because it will only affect players once every so many odd seconds, and by that time it's already over. So you only get 1 initial jerk pull if you're lucky. If you're lucky. If they're CC immune, then you're not going to get any pull at all. That's why I prefer Thistlebloom over that, because it's a more constant and it grows bigger over time, the entire time that it has been cast. All right, Unrepentant Gale, that gives me an extra charge for Arcane Wind. We get 3 charges with this one total combined with Thistlebloom, so it makes it nice. You can put down lots of AoE rings, which you kind of have to. As you've seen in that video, you kind of have to drop them down, especially against like Tempest chasing you. It does help for catching them out of their Windwalk puddles and trying to put down as many fields down the lanes as possible is what the idea here is. This is mostly a support build for the team. Lost seconds. This one will reduce your slow time cooldown. And Weathering Eye. I switched to Weathering Eye. I did have another one on before. I changed this one back recently. I did have the Firestorm increased damage one, but of course, that being strifed, it was nice and it did make more of a damage impact. I did notice a little bit of a drop-off since changing to this build. However, this one applies a movement speed reduction for quite a substantial amount of time. Now, granted, this will also be strifed, but it does seem to keep people in the fields longer when they're trying to escape it, and that makes it all the more better. Okay, so there's all that. Go over the skills, which obviously you've seen the essences, so you kind of got an idea. Meteor Shower, or Meteor, Arcane Wind, Slow Time, and Teleport. Good old Teleport, because you know you still got to get out of dodge. Now I use Electrocute. You can use Magic Missile if you want. Magic Missile would do more damage on PC. I'm really skittish with my clicking, and I have pretty high DPI whenever I'm doing this. I probably should lower it for this game, but I also play First Descendant, so I'm really touchy when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I don't like to move my hand all that much, and I like to be as pinpoint as possible. However, in this game, I probably should dial it back, which is as simple as clicking the button on the top of my mouse, but anyway. But on PC in general, I have found that electrocute does not really, or does work better, unfortunately. I would love to use magic missile, and I used magic missile in the past, but on PC, for whatever reason, it's still pretty touchy. On mobile, of course, you have more of a better auto-aim system, and it's a lot easier, I think, to hit targets with that on mobile. But on PC, I've kind of had to resort to this one. It tracks somewhat better for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it's, again, probably a development thing, or who knows what. But there you go. So that's the skills. That's the overall build. Now, we're going to go one more thing. We almost forgot. There's a couple things, actually. Warband. I did change this recently, and I just did this not that long ago. I've done it before with dungeon running and whatever else. I switched to Protector. I was running the Attacker, which my relics on Attacker, once I actually looked at them, they're not as that effective anymore. And I'm like, oh, the 3.5 flat damage, I don't think this is strifed. So this is actually nice, and I do notice a little bit of a damage decrease again by switching off of this. However, this one's more beneficial for me because since I've switched to it, I've noticed a huge difference. And by huge, you are also increased in size by quite a bit. I do have the gold version of this one. So here we go. Increase your life 6.5% and your size by 15. So you're bigger, you got more life, and in this game, for whatever reason, it makes you move faster. So it is what it is. So I'm like, all right, that gave me some more movement speed. Okay. That's why I switched to that one. I've been trying that out recently, and that's actually made some definite increase in difference and survivability as well, because more life and you're faster. Paragon, here we go. Here's the kicker. I've switched to Gladiator. Now, for the longest time, I was running full bore glass cannon slinger with Ranger, the old Ranger one, if you know what that one was. Probably a lot of people don't remember what that is anymore. But on Gladiator, here's the ones I've picked. We have Grizzled Veteran, letting player you deal 4% more damage, so I'm still getting a bit of a damage boost, and take 4% less damage from players. So that's a very nice one to start with. Let's see, we did this one. When you defeat a player, your Grizzled Veteran bonus increases to 12% for 10 seconds. So that's very nice. When somebody goes down, boom. This effect does not stack, however, but it will refresh when another player is defeated. So if you get them grouped up in a nice AoE blast like I did, boom, boom, boom. You know, refresh, refresh, refresh for that 10-second duration. Okay, and then I took this one because, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I took this one because I was very on the fence about some of these other ones. They might have been better, but I was like, well, you know what? Let's just go with this and see what happens. This is a very interesting one, and I'll get to that in a minute here. For every player you defeat, your critical chance increases by 3%, stacking up to 5 times. All stacks will clear when you are defeated. So, you know, take that for what you will. As long as I can keep my positioning in, I'll keep the stacks. But if I lose them, it's whatever. But obviously, in some of these matches, I'm lasting a little bit longer now and getting some kills racked up, and it's actually more beneficial for me now. Alright, and then, of course, the old cheat death gives me that little silver frame around my life bar just to remind me, like, if it's there or not. Nasty cooldown on it still, obviously, and that's why people have savior pets. I still do not, by the way. So I just have this now, which is fine. I'll take it. I've been used to not having anything at all. And as you can see in that last match, what I did, I purposely ate this at the end to push the idol that much further to get the barrier down. So I knew I had it, and I was like, all right, let's just eat it, eat the damage, and you know, see where we end up. I was taking a chance nonetheless, because I don't think there was too many other people around me at that point to help push the idol if I would have went down. But it worked out. So there's that, and let's see, this one. Took Juggernaut. Juggernaut on a wizard. Pretty crazy, right? Yeah, especially a free-to-play glass wizard, but still nonetheless. This is very interesting. I don't know how buggy this actually is, if it works as intended or not. When you defeat 6 enemies without being defeated, you become empowered and your life is fully replenished. That happened to me in the match, but it was on 7 player defeats. in a row, which I'm like, all right, well, I thought that was going to happen on 6, so that was weird, but it occurred nonetheless. While empowered, your size increases by 10% and 20% increased movement speed. So there's that as well. So once I proc that, I had this bonus, and it stays on until you are defeated. So there's times I'll be defeated not long after, so it's, you know, it's kind of a take it hit or miss kind of thing. But it's actually been a lot of fun when it does happen. And I never thought, of course, like I said, being a complete glass free-to-play, that I would be able to pull this off at all, mind you, let alone in certain situations like I did. And it actually is kind of fun. So, all that being said, all the nasty matchmaking nonsense aside, being busted as intended, of course, to keep you in that 50-50 win rate, you know, with the algorithm, yada, 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 all the complaints that we have with that, they're never going to change. The class disparity, the class balance, the class distribution, that's never going to change. We can all stop holding our breaths in hopes that the devs would actually care enough to do something about that. I've completely been like, you know what, I've given up on that, made peace with it, whatever you want to call it, and just moved on. We'll be like, yeah, that's matchmaking algorithm 50-50 win rate right there for you. So they're never going to fix that. They're never going to change it. And honestly, I've said this in the past too, I don't think they can. So any devs out there listening to this part, take this however you want, but I don't think you can fix it. So, calling you out, I don't care. I'm just saying it like it is, and like it or not. So anyway, there's the Paragon choices that I have made the changes from. It has been a lot more fun. Give it a go for yourselves if you want, or use that Paragon tree with whatever variant skills that you want. As on, you know, and see if you like it. Give it a shot. What's there to lose? There's nothing to lose. There really isn't, because, hey, try to have a bit more fun with it. And ever since I did this change, I have actually started having a lot more fun with this anymore. And that's what really matters, more so than anything else. None of this honestly matters. It's having fun while you're in there. If you're not having fun in the game, and if you can't find ways to make the game fun for yourself, then obviously, yeah, take a break or what have you, or, you know, try something else for a time. And that's why, you know, I switch off between this, First Ascendant mostly, and some other things. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing. But anyway, rambled on long enough at the end of this one. Hopefully, some of you who've stayed in there, listened, and appreciate, I don't know, just kind of a bit more of, I don't know, more insight, I guess, to a lot of things and more detail. I know a lot of people just want to get in, get out. Oh, give us a 5-minute, and that's it. And then people don't even make it that long. But hey, it is what it is. I understand. Everybody's busy. We all have short attention spans and that kind of thing too. It's whatever. But anyway, stay safe out there, everybody, as best you can in the real world on fire. Take it one day at a time. That's all we can do. Until next time, see ya.